Time to bring the bass back.
Mix is the beat of our culture. Your music.
I thank God for the opportunity to make music and for that music to be on a platform for people to come out and love.
Your stories.
It's gold for the Philippines.
The next generation of creators, artists, and filmmakers.
We bring you the latest and greatest impacting people from our community.
Spotlighting inspiring content from Generation Mix.
It's just a true honor to be able to do this, especially with all the great Filipino talent here.
Discover fresh artists first from around the world. Uniquely Filipino.
Step back three. He has got that.
Mix is the beat of our culture.
Hey guys, it's Sam with 2Fs and welcome to this MYXclusive interview. Hello to everybody who's tuning in live here on our social media platforms. I hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are watching us from. But today we're going to be joined by a very special guest, a very talented artist who recently dropped a collab with the Filipino hitmaker Denise Julia, which is called Let Me. So I'm excited to talk more about music, life, and just everything that's been going on. Everybody, please welcome to MYXclusive Milky Day. Woo!
Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited to be here and to, show my face in front of some of my fans. I feel like a lot of people don't know what I look like.
That is true, actually. So now we can put a face to the artist and the music, which I think is so cool. But where are you calling us from?
I'm currently in Sydney, Australia.
Mm-hmm. Okay, not too far from the Philippines, or kind of on the same side-ish of the world. So awesome. Thanks for joining us once again. It is your first time here on MYXclusive, so we would love to get to know more about you and your
Mhm.
music. And I thought one of the things that I thought really was interesting is how you have a very multicultural background. I know you're of, Korean descent, born and raised in New Zealand, went to the US even for school, and now you're in Australia. So could you tell us more about how maybe we're having this multicultural background, did that maybe impact or influence the way that you make music or the kind of music that you wanted to make?
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how it's impacted my music, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like growing up in New Zealand, like New Zealand and also Australia, it's like a very chill place. Like it's got a
Yeah.
very laid back culture. So I
Mhm.
feel like maybe that's why I like making chill music. But yeah, it wasn't actually until I moved to the US for college that I started taking music a bit more seriously. It's when I started
Mhm.
exploring music production and songwriting. And yeah, I think in the US, everyone grinds a lot, and they kind of push you to try harder. So I feel like that hustle culture was definitely good for my growth.
Mhm.
And yeah, I guess because I'm of Korean descent,
Mhm.
I used to listen to a lot of Korean music, like Korean R&B,
Mhm.
K&D. So yeah, you can definitely hear some of those influences in my music as well.
Mhm.
Although more these days, I'm interested a bit more in American R&B, I would say. But yeah, various different ways that it's influenced me.
Yeah, and I love that you said, the fact that you're from New Zealand, Australia, very laid back, which obviously we can also hear in your music, but contrasted also with the kind of hustle culture that you got from the States and putting that together and making music, I think is really cool. But do you remember what actually really pushed you to even pursue music? Like, was this always something that you wanted to do ever since? Or did you
Um,
always think that you were going to become an artist?
yeah, so I always did a lot of music growing up. Like I played
Mm-hmm.
piano since I was really young. I did a lot of choir and orchestra and stuff like that during high school and middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even when I first started producing, which was after my freshman year of college,
Yeah.
it was actually purely a hobby for me. And I think also because I have Asian parents, they're really worried about my career choices and
Yeah.
stuff. So they like always advise me to keep music a hobby and to pursue something more serious as my main thing. Um, so that's kind of reflected in what I studied in college. Actually, I did math and music as a double
Mhm.
major, and I was even I was actually working full time in a day job for almost 2 years after I graduated as well. So it's only until last year that I started taking music a lot more seriously.
Oh wow, so really recent too.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's so cool how, your audience has grown a lot, even though you only started last year, which I think is amazing. And I think, people can definitely relate to the music that you make too. And I think it's perfect for everybody. Like a lot of people can definitely listen to your music. And I love that you said, your parents too. As a fellow Asian, we can feel we definitely can relate to that. Anything, artsy sometimes can be hard for Asian parents. Like
Hmm.
I know like the creative field, but we're happy that you're able to stick with it and still balance it with, the things that you also did, like
Hmm.
taking a double major in math and music. And now we're talking about your music, which I think is so cool. And I also really thought that your name was interesting, your artist name, Milky Day.
Hmm.
So what is the origin story of Milky Day? Like, where did it come from?
Yeah. In case you think there's like some deep meaning behind it, there isn't.
Hmm.
It was
Okay, I
actually a
love
name
that.
that yeah, it was a name that some friends and I constructed together in college.
Hmm.
So I had these two friends who I used to make a lot of music with. And we were just sitting at the cafeteria one day and we were like, let's come up with a name. And someone came up with Milky Day. And we just thought
Hmm.
it had like chill vibes. We kind of liked how it sounded. So we stuck with it. And then eventually we stopped making music together. But after I got their permission, I decided to keep the name and kind of like continue the legacy of Milky Day.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like people always expect like certain artist names if they don't use their real name that has like a
Mhm.
deep, existential like meaning behind
Yeah.
it. But I love that you said it's just pretty chill, and I mean that's really cool. Like you just kind of go with it, and I think that
Mhm.
also is a reflection of the kind of music you make too. Like you said, it's very like chill too, has great vibes, and I know you're influenced by, like you said, a lot of American R&B.
Mhm.
So I do want to know like how did you form the kind of music that you wanted to create as an artist? Obviously, being inspired and creating your own music is two different things. So, how did you kind of
Mhm.
take your inspiration and create the sound of Milky Day?
Wow, that's a big question. I feel like my music style and sound has
Mm-hmm.
changed and evolved a lot throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first started making music, that was when like it was the peak of lo-fi. So actually,
Oh.
lo-fi music was like the first thing I ever made, just like no
Mm-hmm.
vocals, just pure lo-fi. And then I started exploring a bit of like hey indie styles. And then my friend got me into like R&B. And I
Mm.
love R&B. I think I'm definitely gonna have R&B sounds used in my production in the future as well. But even more recently, I've been exploring like house and like other genres. So yeah, but like long story short, I think the Milky sound is very interlinked with my music taste at the
Mm-hmm.
time, and it keeps changing because I keep discovering new artists, new genres, and like yeah.
We stand a versatile and growing artist. Obviously, I mean that's really cool for you to be able to express the kind of music that you want to create through many different kinds of genres. Especially these days, I feel like genres so fluid. Like you can't really
Hmm.
pinpoint one genre for a
Yeah,
specific
that's
song.
true.
So we're excited to see what else you get to come up with in the future. And now we want to talk about obviously your newest collaboration that dropped not too long ago, which is
Mhm.
called Let Me with the Filipino artist Denise Julia. So how did this collaboration actually between you and Denise Julia come about?
Yeah, so originally I first produced the beat. I was kind
Mm-hmm.
of going for like love, like night vibes, like going on a night
Yeah.
drive, that kind of feeling. Um, and then I wrote my verse and the
Mm-hmm.
chorus, and then I was like about to write my second verse, and I was like, wait, actually, this is a love song, and it would be nice to tell the story from the other perspective. Um, so I was specifically looking for someone who had like a gentle, kind of soothing singing style,
Mm-hmm.
and we came across Denise, and I was like, oh my gosh, her voice is like perfect for this. So we reached out to her, um, and she sent me her verse. I loved it like immediately. I didn't even request any changes to it. So yeah, it was like honestly pretty smooth, and I love
Mm-hmm.
how her voice sounds. I was also like pleasantly surprised by how good our voices sound together as well.
Yeah. For sure. And I love that you had a vision of what you wanted to do with the song. Like when I first listened to Let Me, it really did give night drive, windows down kind of vibe, like, just kind of reflecting and like thinking about all of
Hmm.
these things. And I love that, that was the intention also with the song in the start. And when
Hmm.
you added Denise Julia's voice, I feel like it added like another layer to it too, like in terms of storytelling and just kind of the vibe
Yeah.
as well. So
Mm.
cool that you guys were able to collaborate. Have you guys met in person or was it all done online?
No, it was fully remote.
We love that. Thank God for the internet. See, all of the things that we can
Yeah.
do. Thank God. Thank God for the internet. But I also really love the music video for this song. I feel like it evokes like a certain kind of feeling that a lot of people can
Mhm.
definitely relate to. And it feels like I had a memory that I didn't know about, but I was watching it. You know what I mean? Like through
Yeah,
the
yeah.
music video. So can you tell us more about your whole creative process when it came to the music video and even just the song in general? Because I knew you already had like you already knew what you wanted to do with this track.
Mhm. Yeah, so something I realized is that visually, I think the
Mhm.
Milky Day style is very like film style, like
Mm.
nostalgic.
Mhm.
Um, so I wanted to kind of maintain that Milky style. So I actually rented out like an antique Canon film camera. There
Wow.
was a store in it was actually a cafe in Seoul that
Mhm.
also rents out film cameras. It's a pretty cool business idea, but yeah, you basically rent it out for 24 hours, and then
Mhm.
they give you the film roll, and you just go around shoot the thing, and then they develop it for you. Um,
Wow.
so I basically went. We were going for this date night concept. So
Mhm.
me and my friend like went out on a night. We had things planned out, like, hey, we'll go to this wine bar, we'll go to the Han River, like we'll go here and there.
Mhm.
It was pretty organic. We were just like shooting whatever we thought looked cool. I was trying to like emphasize like glowing colors and like cool textures and things like that. Um, and yeah, I love how it came together. I feel like it captures the like mood of the song very well.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, really, really pleased with the result.
Yeah, really, really cool. And I love that it's actual film. You know, like obviously these days, a lot of people try to mimic the kind of film
Yeah.
style, which I mean, it's not bad, obviously, because film
Mm.
is also like hard to access these days, and like it's the logistics I can imagine is also very
Yeah.
hard. But the fact that it's actually real film, I feel like that's why it's so like I said, it evokes a kind of nostalgic kind of vibe, and a lot of people, I'm
Yeah.
sure, can feel it as well when they
Mhm.
watch it. So to everybody tuning in, if you haven't heard "Let Me" by Milky Day featuring Denise Julia, you guys can check it out everywhere. The music video is also available on YouTube. But this also obviously makes us so excited for everything else that you have planned. Like you said, you know, your music is a reflection of the things that you're into at this
Mhm.
very moment. So do you have anything else that we can look forward to? Do you have any plans in terms of music, touring, and all of that?
Yeah. We have a bunch of stuff planned. So there's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be another song coming out next month, with a really cool music video.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time and effort working on this music video, so I'm excited for people to see it. And then in August, I'm dropping an EP actually. Um, it's yeah, very exciting. It's a bit different from my usual sound. Very different from like the Let Me like dreamy love song style. It's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit
Mm-hmm.
darker, kind of touches on like mental illness concepts and like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a little bit different, a bit more experimental. And then later this year I'm gonna be doing a lot more performances. So performing at festivals and like shows. I'm probably gonna try to hit Asia and North America. Um, so yeah, lots of activities.
Yay, we can't wait. So till then, we'll listen to all of your music that's available right now. But we have a lot to
Mhm.
look forward to, guys, coming from Milky Day. But until we get to have you in the Philippines, do you have a message to all your Filipino fans and everybody who's tuning in?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to say thank you to everyone who
Mhm.
checks out my music, supports me. Yeah, I couldn't have gotten here without you guys, and I appreciate every single like DM and comment I get about my music and how it's helped you guys through tough times and stuff like that. I feel like that's what I want to do with my music. I want it to be healing,
Mhm.
to help you feel comfort and like um, be a place of like reassurance for the listener. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I've got a lot of cool things planned. So um, stay tuned, and I'll update you guys soon about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Milky Day, for sharing your music with all of us. Obviously, a lot of us find comfort in your music, so you're already there, and we can't wait for everything else that you have in store. But Till then, thank you everybody who tuned into this MYXclusive interview. Once again, if you haven't heard Milky Day's music, you guys are missing out. So make sure to stream all of his music. It's available on your favorite music digital streaming platforms. But thank you once again, Milky Day, for joining us. This has been Time with 2Ms and Milky Day. Thank you, everybody.